USDA believes the largest operating cost for corn farmers this year will be fertilizer. Seed expenses are projected to come in second, making up nearly a third of that total. Kansas State University's Ignacio Ciampitti believes growers should take a closer look at altering corn seeding rates within fields because of the variability much of the land offers. We talked with Ignacio at the recent Nebraska Crop Management Conference in Kearney and began by asking how farmers can assess their seeding rates.
Well, I think that when you look at specifically on seeding rates in corn, we conducted a nice multi-state review paper working in collaboration with Pioneer. And what we did basically in that study is that we asked the company and we collaborate partner getting all the information that they have from the last 30 years. They have thousands of observations. They do excellent studies every year. So our concept was many times we think about the seeding rate, and the recommendation on seeding rate specifically on corn is really connected to your yield potential. When you're looking at environments that you can achieve 300 bushels or more, then it's a moment that you might be able to start pushing seeding rates and get a really good response. In dryland environments, very susceptible environments, when you move to less than 150 bushels, then is when seeding rate can become a stress factor. And in our situation, basically, in many of our publications that we put together with them, we look at this idea of saying, let's start from the basics of precision ag. When a farmer is buying a new field and is looking at that field, in a 60-acre, in a 120-acre field, you have variability. So the field is never uniform. So one of the best ways to start working with that variability is start looking at what are the best areas of the field and what are the worst areas of the field. So in some way, we start working with so many of our farmers to look at that information, even using satellite data, and trying to make a map early before the growing season and promote them to start thinking about the idea of zone. This is not a variable rate. It's just to say, if I know that this area of the field, 30 or 50 acres, are highly productive, and they are more than 250 bushels, why I will be treating those acres in the same way that 120 bushel potential.
It's worth it to shift around?
Exactly, of course, and it's not too hard to do it, because if you think about economics and if you think about the benefits that you might have in doing that, imagine the situation that in a 120 bushel environment, in a very susceptible environment, it could be an area of the field that is a depression or is compacted. That area of the field, when you are pushing the same population that your pivot or a high yielding situation, what you're doing is you are creating the opposite effect. That area of the field, not only you are investing more seeds that you don't really need, but also you are creating a response that it could be a negative response. So this is a new concept that many times when farmers are thinking the economics, and we know that the seed cost is one of the main economics for corn, we always encourage farmers to start looking at variability in the fields and start becoming more business oriented in looking at how I can manage that variability in a way that I can potentially invest the same amount of resources, but invest it in a way that is allocated in a high yielding situation versus a low yielding environment. And believe me, we have many of our farms that we can clearly divide in 2 or 3 different zones and start playing with these ideas.